Good morning. I've come back to somewhere I haven't been for years. Certainly never filmed here. I'm heading over that direction. Just remember this little wall, bridge bit. It'll make more sense in a minute. Right, we're in the woods. As you can see, there's an almost straight line of trees either side along this footpath. And the good reason for that is, it used to be a railway line. If I spin round slowly so you don't get dizzy. That's where I parked, just the opposite side of that bridge. One of the remaining railway bridges. Well, they couldn't get rid of it because it's the one of the access roads into a nearby village. As far as I can remember, but you'll have to remember my memory is a bit shoddy, the railway line was built in about 1900 down to one of the flourishing coastal resorts of that time, Victorian times, but it only had a short history. It sort of went into decline around the time of the Second World War, and then in the 60s with the beaching cuts it got dismantled and just wasn't used, and it's just been left to do its own thing. But it's quite interesting down here. One thing that does fascinate me under this bridge, I don't know how well it shows like that, it's a bit too bright. Hang on, let me get out of the sun. The brickwork in the arch goes diagonal. I don't know why. Maybe it's for extra strength. Probably see it more there where it meets the straight brick of the upright. Weird. Can't go far that direction because there's now a new bypass. Cuts right across it. And it's a shame, but down on the marsh there was a huge viaduct that just stood in the middle of nowhere after the line was taken out. It was 17 arches, a real big one. But in the end they decided to destroy it and blew it up with dynamite. I'll see if I can find an old picture of it somewhere to tag into the video. But that's enough of the railway bit. I'm going to turn right here and see what's parallel to it. Where I'm standing now was actually a sandstone quarry. I don't know which came first, this or the railway. I'm assuming the railway came first because it was an easy way to get the stone out. But you can see they dug quite deep. Actual ground level is there. That's well, a fair old drop. I wouldn't really like to estimate how big that is. 75, 100 feet, something like that. It's all sandstone around here. But another reason I decided to come back here, just round this corner, if I remember right. Little cave. I'll climb up there if I don't break my neck and show you what's up there. Now this cave's a bit of a mystery. I don't know whether it was natural and there's been a bit of man intervention with it, or whether it was completely cut. I don't see any reason why you would dig a hole here looking out that way into the quarry particularly, but in the back there's a little access hole, almost like an air shaft. It's only short, and I sort of have a theory. I could be completely wrong, completely, but during the Second World War there was an awful lot of, as you can imagine, us being more or less on the front line if there was an invasion, there was an awful lot of like home guard activity, preparing in case we got invaded and that sort of thing. And if I get in there, I think I can get in that bit. Just about get my shoulders up from it. Hang on. Right, I haven't climbed. I'm still standing on the floor of the cave. But as you can see, looking out through this little chimney bit, I'm looking directly over the road bridge, over the railway line. I don't know if you can see through the trees. Over there somewhere. It's hard to spot it. My car's parked on that corner. And I have a theory that possibly it was a point that the Home Guard used protecting the bridge, because it's one of the access roads inland, and also the railway. I could be miles off, but it seems to make sense. I can't see why else there'd be this little hole, man-sized hole, up through the roof of the cave, overlooking this bit. Because if we were invaded, they'd only have to blow up that bridge, and they've killed two birds with one stone. They've blocked the road access and also put the railway out of commission. As I say, that's total guesswork on my behalf. Hang on, let me reverse. I've looked online extensively and there's just no reference to this. Like most of the military stuff, it's not recorded. So it's a possibility. I just can't think why else you would have a cave like this dug at the top of the edge of a quarry. It's just a bit bizarre. But there's my theory. Now I've got to try and get back down. We had very heavy rain yesterday and the sandstone has turned to like liquid mush. And you can see there, that's just like drips from the roof have done that. It's almost like it's like the beach, but only a very thin layer of it and hard rock underneath. That's going to be a bit slippery going back down. Well, I'm glad I didn't film coming back out the cave, because, excuse me a minute, as I showed you, the surface in there, all the wet sandstone, Oh, car going past. Really quiet country road. Always a car goes past when you start filming. Try again. Surface of the cave. Very sandy, very slippery where we've had all the heavy rain. So I thought best to put the camera away, stick the rucksack on, zip it up and climb out. I got halfway down. Sandstone, some of the rock I was holding on to gave way. I started to gain a bit of pace, and the last, I don't know, 20 metres or so, it was a case of fall over or run. So I sort of run down the face and run into a tree at the bottom, but I stayed on my feet. So I'm glad I didn't have the camera in my hand. But it's nice to come back. I haven't been back here for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Certainly before I was doing YouTube stuff. I think I've got some old photos. I came here, middle of winter. I think it might even have been while I was off because of Christmas. Came in here, cooked up some breakfast. If I can find the old photos, I'll tack them onto this video. Oh, that's better. Yeah, this little location here. I'm going to say the railway line run through there, that side, or it's parallel to where the lane runs. We'd now be in the middle of the quarry. I'm not sure when the quarry packed up. I think they've probably dug as much as they can because it's getting close to a house on that side, so obviously they can't dig any further there. They're up against the road that side, and looking at how the land tails off, we've only got to go back another 50 feet or so, and the bank from the cutting comes right down to ground, normal ground level here. So I think we're right on the edge of where they were. So they probably had all the usable sandstone out of it. So the railway went in the 60s, early 60s, whenever the Beeching cuts were. Was it Dr. Beeching responsible for that? The name Beeching sticks to mind anyway. And they ripped all the railway out. But it just does mean we've got a big strip of woodland. Not very wide, but quite long, along the site of the old railway, which is nice. This little piece here, around the quarry area, there's a nearby village. The villagers got together, purchased this piece of land, and now it's like their own little sort of private nature reserve. Anyone can cut, but it's sort of owned by the village. Nice spot. I'm glad to come back. Video might end here. Don't know how much more I'm going to film. We'll see. See you for now. I thought before I leave, I'll see how far I can follow the old railway line. Well, this bit anyway. Now we're outside the nature reserve. It's not quite so well maintained, but quite a well worn path. People obviously come this way. I never have. So this is all new. I don't know how far I'll get, but I know right at the bottom there's a big old farmhouse. Massive place. And it all got repossessed, or well, not repossessed, compulsory purchased for making the bypass road through the valley, and now it's just standing there empty. I'm not sure if I can get down that far. I've been down the access road to it, driven down there, but you have to be a bit cautious because there's a lot of security, motion sensor alarms and all that sort of thing, and all hell breaks loose if you drive too close. But we see what happens. God, bloody cobwebs keep wrapping around my face. Right, I've made it through. As you can hear, I'm now by the road. The railway line would have come sort of through those trees there, across here, and of course, bright sun, but I don't know how well you make it out. There's a bank here. That top bit is the height of the railway line, so it would have spanned across here. Now we have the new road. Let's have a quick look. I'm good looking through the wire. Let's see if I can lift it up on the tripod. A better view. The old farm I said about is in these trees here somewhere. I'll see if I can get to it in a minute. Let's get away from that traffic noise. I have mixed feelings about that road. They have pushed a road through a beautiful part of the country. There was an awful lot of protests and so on, as you can imagine. Like, you know, protesters turned up and set up camps, and people were living up trees and in holes and all that sort of thing for a while to delay it. But of course, it was always going to happen eventually. Yeah, mixed feelings. It's a shame in a way that they had to do it, but it is only one strip of tarmac in, you know, thousands of acres, so it hasn't ruined it, not in my mind anyway. There's still lovely areas either side of it. Certainly that way, once you've crossed the road, it's open countryside for, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 miles down to the coast, which is still there for people to enjoy. There's footpaths and everything else, new paths been put in, new bridges put in, and it has relieved an awful lot of traffic that used to run through the town. I mean, the people that were living on the main road, the A259, right on it in the town, the traffic was horrendous, and the pollution and so on. By building this road, it's probably halved their traffic. So yeah, mixed thoughts. It's a shame it had to go through this lovely strip of countryside, and it upset a few hundred environmental protester types, but it has probably improved the lives of thousands of people to lessen the traffic. I mean, it's quite quiet this road at the moment because it's Sunday morning early, but I know for my work I use the old road quite a bit because that's where the houses are, of course, and the improvement on that road is no end. I could spend ages sitting in traffic on that at one time, and now you very rarely get held up. So it has improved things for the majority, shall I say. So yeah, like I said, mixed thoughts really. That's the end of the railway line, or what was. That's where it came out. I'll film some more in a second. Well, I've made it to the farmhouse. I'll have to keep an eye out for the motion sensors and so on. Otherwise the alarms go off and all hell breaks loose. But it's sad. It's sad seeing this big old place just sitting here empty. It's been empty for, I don't know, 5+ years now. I'm assuming that it's owned by the highways people. But I tell you what, I'd probably happily live here and put up with the traffic noise because of the ground that comes with it. I'll just pick up the tripod and I'll sort of show you. There's a lot of outbuildings that you can't really see from this angle, but all this ground here goes with it. Got a nice lake at the bottom there. Runs back up the road there. This track's probably half mile long, with a gate at the top. That's where I parked. But yeah, all standing here with no one using it. Such a shame. So the traffic noise is a bit of a pain, but I suppose you get used to that. The other thing, it's very, very reminiscent of the house I lived in as a child. Same sort of size, same style with the hanging tiles, top half, all that sort of thing. Probably same sort of age. I'll say it's got sensor alarms all round it, so I don't know how close I can get. I'll have a wander, and if it's okay, I'll film a bit more. I don't think anyone's played tennis in there for a while. Get out, wasp. Come on, bugger off. What a waste. I don't know if you can hear it above the traffic. One of the alarms has just gone off. Right, I'm going to bugger off quick.